Hi everybody, it's me, Robert, with Deep Thought Cycle, and long time no see. Quick status update, I guess. Maybe not so quick. Still alive here in America, and struggling, to get to the next level. I'm really sorry that I haven't got to ride my bike and make videos and stuff. I'm sorry I don't get to ride my bike because I'm getting fat and I like to be healthy and stuff. And it feels so good to ride a bike, and it's just not part of my life for a long time, unfortunately. So what have I been doing? So many things. I've been driving rideshare, and two of my cars got totaled this year. Went to New York and picked up another car. This Jetta Sportswagen. The car is pretty good diesel, and luckily I got it 19,000 miles with a 2-year unlimited warranty, and it's I plan on using the miles up real good, and it runs great. I don't know if I want to talk about the car right now. There's so many things to talk about. I don't know where to start. It's easier when I'm riding a bike, because then we could do a whole lot of videos. But I've been working 16 hours a day, and when I was doing good, I could make $8,000 to $10,000 a month, doing things like sleeping in my car, pissing in a bottle, packing your lunch, and just working to death. And I was planning on paying off my debt that I accrued to come here and everything else. And then, of course, this coronavirus started, and I was going to go to school online, and I looked for a lot of jobs and couldn't really utilize any skills that I have. I guess I don't have a degree, so nobody would really be interested in me. I tried a lot, and I didn't want to go back to a factory job. But then I started making twice as much as when I worked at Tesla per week, and that was satisfying. And I was really disgruntled about the whole thing with Tesla, and I've since moved on. And I started to trade, stock market trading. I've been watching this whole thing unravel in the US about the coronavirus, and so much anti-Chinese propaganda that really touched a nerve with me. China was my home for almost as long as America was my home. And I never heard China say bad things about America. Nothing like what I hear America talk so bad about China. And ironically, one of my earlier jobs in China was to teach the Chinese CDC to communicate with the WHO during FADEN and stuff during SARS, when I was working at a medical university there and teaching the vocational English to help them communicate. And so to see all this happen again and stuff, that could be a whole lot of videos to talk about that topic, right? Living in America is, I forgot how much it's like this. The way the news is and the way the propaganda is, it seems like North Korea a lot. You could listen to the news for 3 or 4 hours. It doesn't matter if you're so-called right-wing or left-wing, or and these media's been, since I've been gone, since 95. Wow. Back in 95, CNN was the conservative, crazy news, and now CNN's got the role of the liberal and and Fox got the role of the conservative, and they play that role like they're in a movie fighting each other, the forces of good and evil, and NFL red versus blue, and it's so simplistically stupid. It's like a dystopian sci-fi futuristic movie. I can see, being away from that for so long and coming back in it and just seeing that over and over, it's surreal how advanced it has gotten in its propaganda positions, and how people accepted that and they follow the lead, and that's really crazy. And yeah, so that could be a whole topic too. But you could listen for 4 or 5 hours to the news and not hear anything happening in any country, or anything happening about schools, or there's no topic really. There's like it's like a couple 4 or 5 points, and they repeat it over and over and over and over, and this side says this predictable thing and this side says that predictable thing, and there's no other news. So that's kind of crazy. That's a whole topic. But I was doing good with my stock trading. I got up to $37,000 from like $10,000, and then I got complacent. One morning I sat down. I said I'll try some penny stock with my wife on the sofa, and it was a big loss. I lost $23,000, and then I'm getting it back. And the other day I had such bad luck is, the car I got from New York. I went out to New York during the whole height of the epidemic, and bought a car and drove it back home. Drove it home in 2 days, or just record time. And there's a DPF filter on the exhaust on diesels, and it has to regenerate and clean itself out, and that went bad. So I had to take it to the dealership in Sacramento, and about 200 miles from where I live, and they had to repair it for like 3 months because I couldn't get the part. So I was driving rental cars, and one of the rental cars I had, a Jeep Cherokee Limited, this Austin Mini, got right behind me, right underneath. When I was backing up, I couldn't even see it, and the alarms didn't go off in the car and the radar, and it was in my blind spot, and I backed into him, barely tapped him, caused $6,400 in damage, and I paid it out of my pocket rather than going through my insurance. That was tragic. So I'm down to about 14 grand on the stock market, trying to grow that. And I think that when I get to 50 grand or 100 grand, including margin, if I could get back up there, then my plan is to make 3 to 7% or so per week, and just be a very cautious investor. And it's a dirty thing, investing in the stock market. There's so many wrong things in society, right? But it seems an option. And I'm not doing options, and I'm not doing a lot of real dangerous stuff. I believe a crash is coming. But that's what I'm doing, and I've been working. So I do stocks from I wake up at 4 in the morning. I do them to 3 in the afternoon, and then I go drive, and I sleep about 4 to 5 hours, and then I drive 16 hours a day when the market's closed. And some kind of slavery, right? Got some plans on taking a road trip up to Yellowstone, and then Glacier National Park, maybe see Tetons or whatever. And if the Canadian border's open and my stocks are good, and maybe we'll drive up to the Arctic Circle to the Denali Highway, and then drive to the north part of the Denali Highway, and then drive to the northern part of Australia or Alaska, where they have the what was the name of the guy that died in the airplane? I forgot his name. And then drive to the most eastern part or western part, where you can see Russia for 50 miles. That's a goal. I mean, who knows if I could get that time. There's a lot of stuff going on. My wife and I would like to buy land, build a house. I had $37,000. I could have paid off all my credit card debt and my car, but I was scoring for 100 and I lost. I took a loss, and it was very painful. And, driving rideshare and being with a lot of people that are like me, that grew up in America, but then I left America and really experienced so many different things that is so awkward. It's so awkward when I see them, and just culture shock is really a huge thing for me, and having a part of that in me, and then knowing what I was and knowing who I am now. And I even see different parts of America corrupting me somewhat, my personal ideals, but in a different way that you can't live somewhere and not have it become part of you. Well, it is becoming part of me. I'm definitely not just going overboard with the American tragedy in so many different ways. So that's a huge topic. I wish I could do videos and all the time and talk to you guys. Maybe I could get that set up. I'm looking at my windshield right now. I had some water spots on my windshield, some hard water spots that they were bugging me. So I've tried everything I could, rubbing compound and different windshield washes. I finally got this one off of Amazon to clean these water spots off, and I barely left it on there more than a minute, and it's so strong it etched into my windshield. So now I can remove the water spots, and now I've got a blurry windshield. I got to change my windshield to the car. That's one of the things I do. I like to make things worse. Just kidding. But I think I need to jack up this car with some towing springs and some front Tiguan springs, and maybe put some more different struts in there, so we could load our cargo box in the back, and maybe put a tow hitch and a bumper thing. We've gone on a lot of trips since our video with you, and I love spending my time with my kids and my wife more than anything. And I also see that it's corrupting them too, right? I don't know. It's a strange situation, America, and I see the holidays and I see the value of different people, and maybe it's just different than my own. I don't know. It's a culture thing, but I don't know. So I just gave a ride to somebody home at 5:30 in the morning here, and talked about Elon Musk a little bit. And I said, well, he's not really, we were talking about investing stocks, and got to the discussion of Tesla. And I said, I don't know how it basically boils down to, I said something like, well, Elon, he's not that smart as what I thought he was. He's not really a great inventor or creator, because I was thinking that, on the shoulders of giants, we can see further. It's a Latin saying, right? And all these advancements that have led up to the electric car and reusable rockets, I really think that those are advancements over our humanity. A lot of people played a part in each one of those developmental stages, and him happening to be the one to put the finalized pieces together, and the electric car and the reusable rocket. Would there be electric car if Elon Musk did not do it? I'm quite sure there would. Would there be a reusable rocket? Absolutely. Did he disrupt? Sure. But it's I was in a talk with this guy, and he was telling me that I didn't do it, so we're not as smart as him. I said, well, look, you were just in the casino and somebody could have won $10,000. That would have been you. That doesn't mean they're smarter. It's just a circumstance of the times, and somebody's going to be that person to do it. It's not necessarily that person is such a great amount of genius, and and his last comment was, well, you're dropping me off, and he slammed the door. Am I as smart as Elon Musk because I'm dropping him off in the car? I don't know. Would you measure the person that doesn't win the lottery and that doesn't does that mean they're not smart? You know, when you have $100,000, when you get past the $25,000 point, and so you could day trade, and you don't have the day trade limit, and when you get to $50,000 to $100,000, I can tell you one thing: it's very easy to make more money, much more easy to keep that money and make more than it is to start from nothing and then make that. So I think that, you know, fortune bestows fortune sometimes. If you have a situation which you're lucky and fortunate, that makes getting to the next level easier sometimes. You know, probably some of the smartest people in the world are people in the poorest villages that might live and die without any kind of recognition, you know, or so. I don't know. I'm a little bit tired. We're driving on my 16-hour shift here, and I gave a ride the other day to some Vietnamese lady who works in a cosmetic factory the other day, and she said she goes to China every 2 weeks, or 2 weeks out of a month for the last 10 years or something, and she can't speak Chinese, and she was like in the back of the car telling all these terrible things like, oh, Chinese people can only get married in factories and their family can't come and they only see their children twice a year, and all this bullshit and I heard her say this. I said, whoa. And the two Caucasian like executives are like with the whole anti-China, they're, oh yeah, those communists and communists, they throw that word out there all the time. It's a catchphrase. All my time living in China, I never thought to myself, this is a communist environment. When I was in Eastern Germany after the wall came down, and I knew about what it used to be before the wall came down, that was definitely communist environment, but it's not so apparent in China, so I don't know. It's not like the Red Dawn 1980s movie. But I heard this lady tell, and I kind of jumped in a little bit. I kind of say, hey, wait a second. You guys, you can't say that. It's not true. And I got it all in my dash cam video. I got all this crazy stuff, but I'm not gonna put those online. I don't have time to splice together all the comments of all the people, what they think of coronavirus, or racist people, or rich people, or there's a lot of different shades of character, right? And yeah. So, I don't know if I'm even saying anything really important in this video. I don't like to make videos when I'm tired, because then there's a chance you ramble on too much and don't really say too much, right? But so anyways, I'm trying to be a better day trader, swing trader, and trying to just, make it to the next level here. And I'm not doing anything of value like teaching or anything else, but you know what? If I could get to that 100K again, or to pass that 37K, I think that it'll allow me to finally take a day off and spend time teaching my kids, and maybe pursue other things like like training centers or something to help the students in America, and let the kids be kids here without being pushed into some kind of adult fantasy, whatever it is. I always thought it was really funny when I first went to China and I was first teaching. I first met students that, when I was teaching university when I was 25, and they were like only a couple years younger than me, and some of them never had a girlfriend or boyfriend, or they were very, I thought they were very mature for their age. I thought, oh my gosh, these kids, they don't. And then I got older and I taught for years and years, and I realized, wow, they're not even mature. I think that they're kids. They're allowed to enjoy their childhood. They don't have to be pushed into that other kind of childhood, which, you getting kids pregnant at 15 or whatever, and all that other false value, like cool Nikes and stuff like that. It's what I was seeing actually was just kids being kids, that weren't really polluted by commercialism, right? You could argue, well, there's other things you could be polluted by, sure, but you know, picking up all the people in Tahoe and other places, and seeing them brag about how they blacked out, and see how they're just their whole party thing, and how they don't want to see their parents, and they hate their parent, they want to get away from the parent, they want to go out and party, they don't know anything. I mean, really, they don't. I mean, just like Chinese students have very little knowledge about different places in the world, but I don't know if American students have even less knowledge, or, I mean, it seems like that. And then this there's so many issues going on right now with the racism and I could go on a long time. A lot of cool stuff if we had a bike to make a video, huh? I don't have one. I still got my bike. I need to replace my gears. They're all ground down, and I look forward to being able to be rich enough to ride my bike again one day. But in America, I'm just like watching the days fly by minutes, just working to death. And it's a whole different life here. And it's do or die. I watch people, I delivered food for 3 months. So instead of doing people, and I couldn't believe the people would order like a Starbucks from 20 miles away to a flea bag apartment that they're living in. And seeing all the people living in apartments, and just going into restaurants and seeing so many people gorge themselves on and waste money, and like spend so much money, and it's different. It's a part of the culture shock, right? But it's trying times, and can't wait to see what happens in the stock market this week. That's my new addiction, is to get money as fast as I can, and through arbitrage, right? It's crazy. I try to be a teacher. I try to do other things. Seems like this is the easiest way to get money. So if I could get money like this, then I'll do that. And I'll make some more videos, and I'll take some, if we go on a road trip, take some videos too, see what happens. So anyways, I'm a little bit tired, but I miss being able to speak my mind and share my thoughts, and it was always therapeutic for me on the bike. And I don't have any retirement from all my years of teaching. I don't have any savings. I'm happy with the people who I touched and who I taught, and there was value put into my health and my soul from riding a bike. I mean, I wasn't investing in the stock market all my life. I was investing in a bicycle. And now I'm driving a diesel to poison the environment. I'm sorry, but it's cheaper than a gas car, and there's a lot more waste than just me in this diesel car right now. And so much to do, so much to see, so much to talk about. But anyways, be safe out there, and I miss everybody on the channel. Sorry I can't see anything very much. I'm working to death, and I'll catch you guys later on. Bye-bye.